still
gonna say that it hasn't worked hella good though.
for like what we use it for, unless we need to like go live, but just for browsing the internet and shit.
Dude, most of the time I just go on my work laptop. That shit stays on 24/7.
What's up, everybody? Little late night sesh.
What up?
We'll get it in quick.
What up, guys?
Okay.
What's up? What's up?
We are rocking and rolling. Okay.
That's when the freaks come out at night.
Okay. Just give me 10 seconds of silence. Hopefully we catch whatever's in the background there so I can get it out. 3, 2, and 1. What is going down? What is going down, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another issue of the Comic Bookies podcast. Episode 156 is here. It feels like a long time since the interview with Victor Dandridge, but we are back to collide the worlds of sports and comics. This week in comics, plenty of books to get into. We have DC, we have Marvel, we have Oni Press, Aftershock, Dark Horse, just to name a few. DC doesn't give us much. Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 14, is the top of the list. Hold on. I'll say that during the thing. I'll cut that piece out. And in entertainment this week, we kind of go back to the last couple weeks and look at some of the celebrity deaths. Unfortunately, to name a few, we have... Oh, man, this fucking sucks. I feel like I haven't done this in a month. I'm going to start over. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another issue of the Comic Bookies podcast. The three of us are here for episode 156. We are back. Feels like a long time since Victor Dandridge's interview, but we are back to collide the worlds of sports and comics. This week in books, we have plenty to get into: DC, Marvel, Boom Studios, Dynamite, and Image, just to name a few. And in entertainment, plenty of deaths to get into over the last few weeks. And in the news, oh, look at that, Ezra Miller's in the news again and has nothing to do with the freaking Flash film. More DC movies are also canned, and Top Gun Maverick, really? That much money? Damn. And in sports, Kevin Harvick finally, after a 2-year drought, gets his first win in that amount of time. EPL's first week and the NFL Hall of Fame game to get into. All that and more on this brand spanking new episode of the Comic Bookies podcast. Come one, come all, come join us, will you?
Okay. Yes, okay. I will, sir.
That's better.
Let's see.
Had to shake the cobwebs off for a second.
That was good.
That's the power of editing, everyone. So hope everyone they watch the first 10 minutes of the video. They're like, oh, shit, this guy fucking sucks. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. For you SpongeBob fans. Okay. Alrighty, back live in 3, 2, and 1. Yes, everyone, and as that music fades, you know what time it is. Episode 156 is here of your favorite comic book and sports podcast. The Comic Bookies are here. I am Mike, one of your hosts, along with Mark and Sean. All three of us are here this week again to collide the worlds of sports and comics. We are brought to you, like every single week, by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Wednesday, August 10th, 2022 is New Comic Book Day, so go see Alex at Treasure Island or go visit all of your other shops to support your small businesses, your local comic book store. But Alex can get you your new and old books any way you want them. You can walk into the shop, you can park right there in the parking lot, and he can walk them out to you, or like me, he can mail them to you. Fellas, first off, I hope you guys have had a great last couple weeks, but just want to kind of end last episode with just a thank you to Victor Dandridge jumping on. An amazing interview again. It was not short and sweet, but yeah, your guys' thoughts on the interview. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
To what you said, definitely want to start off. Thank you, fans who are on today. Good evening, late nights with the Comic Bookies podcast. And no, that was awesome with Victor. It was one of those little midday specials, and he broke a lot of good things with how he's doing, man. The upcoming book he has, I know he has a little thing with the SoCal company with some of like the digital entertainment, hopefully coming out at some point soon. But no, man, it was a good time, and Victor's definitely doing his thing for sure.
Yeah, it was totally awesome. Thank you, Victor, again for joining us, giving us some of that, insight. The hardest working man in comics, as he,
There it is.
gives himself that moniker and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, he really is, man, and it's really, nice to see, a brother working his way up the ranks, getting deals with the AHA like he was talking about, and just you know, to being able to share some of his like experiences with us and our fans, and also a lot of his intentions going forward, and projects that he's working on that can come to bigger light, if you will. And it's cool to know that we get to share that here first with him on the Comic Bookies podcast, man.
Right, right. And then for all the fans out there, I did tell you guys, but on behalf of the Comic Bookies podcast, we went ahead and we donated to the Kickstarter, even though at the time it had already fully funded, but we did the higher rank, the $70 or more. So cool. We supported the project, and we're going to get 5 copies each of the volume 1 and volume 2 of the Kindergarten. So one of each for us, and we'll hopefully do like a little giveaway, but I think those come to us in October, so everyone can start the fall season, the Halloween season, with an early Christmas gift from the Comic Bookies podcast. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be amazing.
Definitely love the idea, bro. Find some ways to, get the fans involved. And like what Mike said, get a little special, a little early Christmas gift for somebody, Halloween special. You never know.
Right, like what Victor said, it was like he wouldn't be doing his job if he didn't reach out to us for an interview. So at the same token, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't support him and then doing this giveaway. And it's one of those normal things where like, share it. You have to be following Victor, and the name escapes me, but his the co-writer and co-artist or whatever of the Kindergartens, something like that. So it kind of helps all of us. This whole process helps all of us, so it's pretty cool.
How you guys been?
Good. I did have a lump in my throat for 2 seconds. I dropped my daughter off at her first day of TK, transitional kindergarten today, so that was a sight to see. She had a blast though, which I knew she did. She was super tired the night before last night, so she was like, how they get overtired and just like they just cry for no reason. And so she's like, I'm gonna miss you guys. And then me and my wife are just sitting in bed like, oh damn it, like how's tomorrow gonna go? And of course my wife's a mess. Like you guys know Danielle, like she was a mess. I'm sure Patty was a mess at some point. Marissa's gonna be a mess when Kaysen goes for his first day of school.
Yeah,
so I think most of the moms are somewhat of a wreck when the first kid goes to the first day of school. But no, I mean, like as soon as she gave us hugs, she went inside. First thing she did was met the first kid who was in the class, Mr. Mateo, held out her hand. Hi, Mateo, my name's Madison. Like, heck of just, oh man, just the best. She did fall already at recess, so good. She got a little scraped knee, so that's good,
nice.
Just break her in, And day 2 of infinite, however long she goes in school, it starts tomorrow. It's pretty cool.
She's gonna be
fast, man.
She's gonna be a busy bee, man. She just very talkative, and she gets along with everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't see no problem in her, not getting along with the classroom.
Right. I mean, and then she's her mom and my daughter, so she's definitely going to get into a little bit of trouble talking too much, just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good thing though, man. Hey, Maddie, that's one thing for sure. She'll definitely make some good friends and some friends quick. Her first day of school, I know Lizzie starts, I think next week you said. Kaysen turns 8 months today. All these kids, man, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of them are just growing like weeds. My son's
right.
2 on the 18th, and it's freaking
right around the corner.
God. Little monster.
Life is good though, man. They're doing good. They're healthy. Hey.
Other than that, just
football starting up. Life's good.
I know football. Exactly. You're gonna be listening
from now until
you're gonna be listening to us
from now until February.
Mm-hmm. Every single week once the regular season starts for a good 18 weeks, and and then the playoffs. So a good like 22 weeks you're going to be hearing us going live every week. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just hanging out. It hasn't been too hot. I mean, it gets hot, but then a little bit of breeze, and then it's been lightweight, kind of like coldish at night, especially back over the Altamont and Livermore. Like there were some nights where it was like 50 something degrees at night, but then it increases 40-50 degrees to damn near triple digits during the day. But yeah, other than that, going to Colorado for a whole week next week, seeing some of the in-laws. My wife's cousins moved out there over the last couple years, so I'm excited to go see everything there. We got a nice luxury box set up for the Giants and Rockies game out there, so it's gonna be a fun time. Yeah.
Get your Giants gear ready?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I got it in this little trash bag right here. I'm gonna go ahead and dig it out, dust it off. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, not. I don't think this is the year to buy it, huh? A little bit behind, and
Dude,
man,
a little bit
compared,
behind, and we're still only like 6 games behind the wild card. That's the crazy thing. Like
wild.
it's
Jeez,
bad, but
it's crazy.
yeah.
What about you, Mark? How are things?
Good, man. Just same old, same old.
Yep.
Still, not really dealing with the move anymore, but kind of just settling in and just still kind of all over the place. But it is what it is. Just enjoying summer really, and just excited. Just really been busy, dude. It's like, man, you thought I watched TV. Like you thought I watched no TV. It's even worse now. Now that I don't really, I don't know. It's strange times that I'm living in personally, but I'll get through it. I feel like the only TV I watch is literally the NASCAR race, and that's it. I mean, I barely turn on the TV during the week. I'm busy dealing with the school that I'm taking right now, so just keeping myself busy, man. Really, just
Nice.
not the kind of busy that is fun. I'd like to be out there, like visiting more shops and reading more books and watching more sports,
Right.
but I got to do something to better myself, man, because ain't no one going to do it for me, right?
Exactly.
Level up, bro. That's it, man.
Exactly. Before we get into comics, I got a couple comments already coming along the line. Caleb, what the hell are you doing up right now? It's probably like 1 in the 1 in the morning your way, I think. So, but what's going on? Thank you so much for checking in on us. Username is just simply drunk. Earlier when we were doing the intro, they said that they said the flash film must be straight gas if it's still got the green light. So, I mean, that person's right. We'll get into it a little bit later, but I mean, yeah, it's loosely based off of Flashpoints. You have the ingredients for an amazing story, amazing movie. But yeah, we'll get into Ezra Miller, the newest news from him and from his camp. But to get into the actual books, let's get into it real quick. So first this week is comic books. So coming out on the 10th of August, 2022 from DC. Yeah, it's a slow week from DC when Superman Son of Kal-El is the first, is the most, requested book of the week. Number 14 from that book comes out. Harley Quinn, number 19, Batgirls. Got news about that one too. Number 9, Batman Urban Legends 18. Slow week. Jurassic League, like what the hell is DC doing this week? Number 4, but one of my all-time favorite, like just out there, non-canon stories is Deceased, just some straight zombie shit. Deceased: War of the Undead Gods, number 1 comes out this week, so I'm excited for Tom Taylor to give me another story from there. Marvel Amazing Spider-Man number 7, The Avengers 59, Axe, Judgment Day number 2. Punisher number 5, Black Panther number 8, just to name a few. Boom Studios gives us Power Rangers 22. Image, a couple from them. King Spawn 13, 8 Billion Genies number 4. I wonder if that equals the amount of money we've sent to Ukraine so far. Slumber number 6. Dynamite Studios gives us 007 number 1, and Vault Comics, I gotta mention number 1 of this story a little bit later, but Mindset number 2 is out this week. And of course, AWA, one of our favorite small-time publishers, Absolution number 2 comes out. That is a lungful. So guys, go ahead and take the stage. What have you liked over the past? Shit, we didn't talk really any comic books that we read with Victor Dandridge. So anything over like the last 3-4 freaking weeks. What have you guys liked? What did you not like? Let's talk comics for a little bit.
We all were waiting for Daredevil. That was badass.
That's a great way. That's a great starting point there, sir.
I mean, I really just wanted to start with something I know we can at least all talk about.
Right. That's actually too true.
That was not Batman. That was not Undiscovered Country. Daredevil.
Right.
It was a number 1. It was new. No, it was badass. I really liked it. And I mean, we've seen Spider-Man right off top. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to like this.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like the story, how you guys like the story, it's like his brother, and they think they think that it's like him that died or something, but it's really his brother, and it's just he's like on the hunt now and whatnot. But I think it's I liked
Elektra.
it. Yeah, I liked it. I think it's gonna get spiced up, obviously, with Chip writing it and whatnot. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think you guys are a little bit more down on Spider-Man compared to how I am. Zeb Wells is writing that one. I think that one, it's decent. I read you guys. I don't think you guys have read it. The Legacy, I think 900 that came out. It was pretty big, dude, and it's like kind of like it's kind of off topic a little bit from the story that we're reading. I think they just did it because it's the Legacy edition, but it was pretty fun as well. Not as fun as I think the Captain America that I've been reading, the Symbol of Truth. Sean, you're on that one, but you
Yes,
haven't
sir.
read it. So I guess I won't mention it, too much, but pretty fun story with Wakanda, written into it as well. But yeah, I know we finally got into that Batman. We'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But what do you think? What have you been reading, Sean?
Punisher. That's another one I added to my pull list. It was funny because I brought it up to Alex this past week or the week before. I was like, updating my pull list. I'm like, I want to add Punisher. What do you think? He goes, oh, bro, I love it. I'm actually reading it myself. And even like the most recent one, the only thing it seems like it's not repetitive, but he pretty much is like the judge and the jury. Pretty much like his ninjas go and just collect people that just basically commit some effed up crimes, and he just dices them up, slices them up. But the person who's kind of like seeing the Punisher as like the ultimate god of punishment / the leader, she's kind of like working behind his back with somebody else who kind of looks back on or looks down on Punisher. So a little bit of a cliffhanger at the most recent issue. I think there's gonna be some sort of head on collision like always. He finds his villain, so the next one's gonna be good. A little bit
You
of
get the next one this week, brother.
I do get the next one this week. I'm very excited, and we get Daredevil #2 this next week. So we got some good ones coming up in the next couple of weeks, bro.
That is true. And then we also get the other Captain America this week, which you're not reading, the Sentinel Sentinel of Liberty. Sorry, thank you. Sentinel of Liberty.
No worries, brother.
But
Yeah, you're getting that one. I'm seeing that. Yeah, you get that one, and that's this week. And then next week, I think is the one that we both get. I want to say, let me check.
But I'll admit, I do think that for now, the one with Sam Wilson has been a little bit more interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're like 2 in, but it's been fun. I mean, 3 in for that one, but it's been fun. Man, what can I say about Public Domain, another Chip book? Seems like that. I mean, like I'm gonna start having dreams of this guy. His name's always in my mouth. Zdarsky.
Oh,
But
hopefully that's the only thing in your mouth.
Come on, Chip.
Oh man, but I wish you guys were reading it, dude. It's the story's great. The second issue that we just got, it's it kind of touches close to like what kind of things that I'm going through personally. It's pretty cool, dude, honestly, just because it's like the guy's looking out for his dad, but deep down inside it's like there's more beneath the surface, and he really wants his dad to get the money he's deserved from the comic series that he's created his whole life. And like I mentioned in our earlier episode when I kind of reviewed it, but the dad's getting jobbed pretty much out of a bunch of money and characters and a whole like comic series that he's created called The Domain and whatnot. And the son just wants to come after like what's right. And in issue 2 that I just read, pretty much the son is really going after it. The dad and the mom are kind of like not so much about it, and the mom's like, you don't really ever go after things you love. And then they kind of tie it in with how the sons, when they were younger and you didn't show him the love, and he was always writing the books and premieres, and dude, and now it's going to become a story that really comes down to like father and son, and as Sean can attest with his new tattoo, right? Just with your son and everything. But
Yeah,
I think
man.
it's a great story. It's probably like my favorite one that I'm reading right now, and it's only like 2 in, and I can just tell that it's going to get real good. So that's just been the one that I've really been liking. We haven't read the Ram, whatever we like to say. I just like the emoji. But yeah, we haven't read that detective yet. Tamaki, we ended. I think that was a good run. I loved her run, actually. Kind of bittersweet to see it end. I thought she was great. But that's what happens with comics, man. They just keep rolling, switch up the story, get new readers in. I mean, if you guys, maybe Mike, do you know why they switch up? I mean, I don't know if it's always been like that, but it seems like since we've been recording this podcast that it happens quite frequently, right? They kind of switch up the writer. I don't know if that's because things go wrong within behind closed doors, or it could simply just be that you bring another audience. Maybe DC wants Chip Zdarsky's audience. You know, you bring in different audiences when you change up the writers on these books and whatnot. I
Right.
don't know if you guys have any information you guys like to share or
I
any
mean,
insight, but just seems like, I mean, it's for the good. I mean, I'd
right.
rather have it way more than Williamson, but I just don't know why they switch. Doesn't seem like the consistency or the continuity stays there for a very long time.
Right. I mean, I think it has different factors, right? You have certain writers come on and maybe the sales aren't too good, you know, like just, and they have a vision. I think they have the vision set out in the, you know, in the forefront, in the very beginning, like how many issues do you need to tell this story, right? And then they kind of go in the direction of where the universe is going. Is Tom King going to write all 80 something of those issues, and then they're going to keep it as canon, right? They're going to keep Alfred as dead, right? Because in the beginning of Tynion's run after Tom King, he had the whole thing with what was going on after the Bane, right? The war with Bane, or the Joker War or whatever. No, it wasn't Joker War. Yeah, or the Bane.
Well, it was City of Bane before that.
Right, yeah. So the whole aftermath of that and killing Alfred and what he was going through, right? And then you have certain aspects in, you know, now going into this other one, you know, so it's kind of connected, and then it's kind of not connected, you know, right? And then on the other hand, you have Marvel with Alien. You have like a 1 through 12 they had with Alien, and the same exact writer is coming on for another like issue 1, right? So is it
like a restart almost?
Right, but it's still called Alien, right? I think it might be called something different, but it may be even a continuation of the story that he's currently writing. But because the name has like a few extra words, it's a brand new number 1. I think it all just depends, right? So. And then, of course, something else happens, right? Like we're in this, you know, if it was 2017 or 18, someone could have gotten canceled, you know, and then they had to get someone else right then and there. So,
do you miss Brian Michael Bendis on action?
No,
I do. No,
he was okay. I think he was okay. I will mention Williamson. Some of his best writing I'm currently reading right now. Give him a Black Label story, and he'll blow your mind. I just read the 3rd issue of Rogues, the big, premiere epic. That is so good. So good.
Oh my God.
The Rogues.
That's so good.
Out of Rogues.
Williamson's so good.
Right. You let him have free reign of dialogue and MFs and bitches and all the kinds of swear words he can write and stuff. Man, that story is bomb, dude. They go for one last score because it's in the future, right? So like, you know, Leonard Snart, Captain Cold and Mirror Master and Weather Wizard, they're all old. And so they do one last score in Gorilla City. So they go to Gorilla City, and Gorilla Grodd's there. They end up freaking kidnapping his baby, who they didn't know at the time was his baby, as like, you know, kind of ransom. And they're just trying to get to his whole gold vault and stuff. So it's really, really cool. I think there's 4 issues because I just read issue 3, which is kind of weird because most of our Black Label stories are only 3 issues. So issue 4 is going to start with they stole all the pieces, all the gold, you know, what do they call it, like gold bullion or gold, you know, freaking bricks, and they put it into the Mirror universe. The Mirror Master used his gun, sucked it all up, and then he ends up getting killed, and now Gorilla Grodd has the Mirror gun. Don't know if he knows how to use it to get into the Mirror universe, but now they have a piece of his life and his kid, and so I don't know what they're going to do. Like, we have your son, and you know, you have the mirror gun. We have to get it back. So it's going to be a really epic conclusion to the story. I will say that.
I like this little rogue idea. We got some Gorilla Grodd, and you don't have like any sign of Flash.
Nothing.
You know, you have all these. I love it, man.
Nothing. So it's set in a future where maybe Barry Allen is either just not Flash anymore, or he's dead. But you know, you have Golden Glider. You have Roy. What's his name? Heat Wave. You have the Trickster. You have all the rogues. You know, Bronze Tiger's in it. So it's a really cool story.
It's really cool.
But yeah, you know, if that gets collected or whatever in like a 4-issue big, you know, sometime in the future, I would definitely recommend picking up like the $20 trade paperback of it.
So what is it gonna be? You mentioned usually Black Labels are 3 issues, which I beg to differ because a lot of them are 6, 8, 10, 12.
The black
Is it?
label, like a lot of the black. Well, yeah, like Harleen was more than 3.
Well, are you talking about the big
The
books?
big books
Because
are
we
usually
get
3 for
like
me. Like the John Constantine one was 3. The
yeah, the big
the year
ones.
1 Superman was 3. I think Batman Damned, the first ever one that was the prestige one, the bat penis. That one was, I think, was 3 issues.
So Rogues is the big book.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
wasn't aware of
Yeah,
that.
Rogue's the
Okay.
big one. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
usually the big ones are about 3, which I'm still waiting for number 2 and 3 of Swamp Thing,
Oh my God,
which we're
right?
probably not going to
That
get.
might have been just freaking canceled. I don't know.
Did you ever end up reading the Batman one? I still got the last 2 to
The
read. They're
one, the
right
one
here,
Dark
actually.
Knight, I have it.
The one Dark
I think
Knight.
that's this week or next week's. But yeah, that's issue 3 of 3. Again, another 3
I
issue
still have
story.
2 of 3. I still have 2 and 3 that I haven't read because
Oh,
I waited so
you
long to
might as well
get
just
the
read
the.
one again.
I'm just gonna read both of them. Yeah, I know,
Read
right?
one also.
And no, I know it sounds like we're kind of shady towards my boy Williamson here, but I got to remember Williamson was one of the first, books that we were reading when we started this
Flash, right?
podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Flash year 1, and I thought it was great. And it could just be something that sometimes these writers, maybe they go to DC, maybe DC comes to them, will try them out. Maybe it's just not their style, right? And then they get into something that's more of their style. Like Mike said, we have them say that it was so good, and it's just maybe let him get out there loose on Black Label and start cussing up a storm and whatnot. It's just because he's good, he's really good. It's just sometimes I feel like maybe it's just he's not writing what he's best at, right? So I'm glad to hear that you really like that book, Mike.
Right, and it might be like, because that's in the Flash universe, so you're already in his wheelhouse, right? He wrote a canon story for Flash, like something that he had to like kind of be focused on one character, and then he brought in Turtle, the green, the Turtle, and all the other
I remember
characters,
that.
all the other characters
I
that he
think
actually
he's
invented.
good at Flash.
He was good at Flash. It teetered off towards the end. That's why we kind of gave him shit, But like Godspeed, he made Godspeed. He made
Seen him in the show too.
the one with Bloodwork, where he was like morphed into that big old blood thing, right? But he's good. Right, so now,
And what
so
about
now you're in his wheelhouse. He's already in the Flash universe, and you give him free reign of like a side story. Like, this has nothing to do with canon. What are you going for? And he sits in a room with the editor, with what's his name, Jim Lee, and he's like, picture this: you have the Rogues, and it's 30 years down the road. He's, one of them's an addict, one of them's down on his luck, and, he wants, he's figuring this out and this out and this out, and boom, by the end of the first issue, they figure what they need to do. One final score, and give me 3 more issues, and I can write a fantastic story of all the Rogues coming back together and, going for one last heist. Has nothing to do with the Flash, but if you've read a Flash story before or watched the TV show, you know every single character in that story. It's really cool.
I loved it. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's actually really dope.
Right.
Yeah, sounds pretty sick.
Right, and then just to rail off 4 stories really quick, just because they're smaller publishers I really like so far. I read issue 2 of The Lonesome Hunters from Tyler Crook, Dark Horse Comics. That's the one I was telling you about. The crow overtook the uncle's body and stuff. So issue 2 was really cool. That one right there. You finally meet like the crow master. Like the whole
badass cover.
I know, right? Blink #1. Last name is Sabella, is the writer from Oni Press. 25-year anniversary. Congratulations to Oni Press. But this one's pretty cool. Where this girl, she had memories of something that happened to her in her past. But of course, when you're that young, you don't remember. And all of a sudden, she's browsing the internet. She sees a website, and she gets flashes of stuff that happens. So she goes and finds a friend, and it's all consuming to her of like, what the fuck happened? And she finally, at the end of the first issue, she gets to the place where she thinks all this went down. So we don't know what really went down. She just sees bits and pieces of security footage of like cops going in there and shooting, and it looked like kind of like a human trafficking type of shit. Like, it was really cool. The Brother of All Men from Aftershock. This is like a cult one right here. So we have a guy who's a private investigator in the 1920s in Canada, and he joins a cult to help find the killer of his sister. So he kind of like goes undercover, right? So that one's pretty cool. And finally, Mindset number 1 that I from Vault Comics. I read this one a couple weeks ago. This guy, his parents are divorced, but they act like they're still together because they're so successful in their real estate business. This guy's going to like, I think Stanford or, some like, big time school. He needs to finish a project to get a good grade, but he needs someone to like help him out with it or whatever. So they finally go to like the lab area, and what they've been working on is like an app or whatever that can actually do like mind control, and so they finally discover how to do it. And like the last page is like, drop your keys, and the dude like drops his keys. So just a really quick synopsis of those 4 stories. Go pick them up because they're only 1 or 2 issues in. Fantastic.
I love it, bro. You said all the magic things, in my opinion, right there. It wasn't a DC or Marvel, and it wasn't a superhero book.
Right. No.
Those are all dope, bro.
Yeah. And that's what I've been noticing that I've been getting more and more of. Like, after I hit, remember like sometime last year we were like, man, I got to get off of like, I got to stop getting 10, 12 books a week. Like, this is crazy. I dialed it back, right? And then you notice that you're only getting DC and Marvel. It's like, fuck, dude. So you go back into your previews, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to drop a couple of the big time ones. Like we dropped, like I might even drop Amazing Spider-Man already after the first arc. I'm not really sure.
I already did.
Right. Yeah. So, and like when I drop Thor, when we're, I think Strange Academy, that's got to come to an end. We get a book every 3 months, and it's come on, man, it's not that good anymore. But then boom, you get Mindset, you get Lonesome Hunters, you get, all that one. So I'm jumping back into it. The amount of books is going to increase over the next few weeks, but I think the quality is going to increase as well. So excited.
Then you guys are still on that Strange Academy?
Well, yeah, it's only been like 16
book, like every few months.
Yeah, it's been like 16 issues only, and it felt like we get it for like 2 years. It's freaking Batman Catwoman. Oh, some of those ones, man. I don't know if we mentioned it, but Batman Catwoman, very underwhelming finale. Joker, very underwhelming finale. My 7 Secrets book, freaking trash ass ending. I'm sorry, Tom Taylor, but come on, dude, you could have given me more than that. That was horrible. So, not really that, pleased with some of these finales of some of these books. So, anything else in comics?
I'm with you on that one.
Right, yeah. I mean, I feel like I've been talking for like the last freaking 10 minutes of my books. Anything else you guys read?
No, just I didn't get to pull the 007 coming out this week. But
we already talked about that. I know I really want to.
Right. I mean, shoot.
So who's going to send the message to Alex for all 3 of us?
Right.
We all want it.
Right. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, I'll just end it with I can't wait to see what more we get from Chip Zdarsky, man. We're getting Batman. We're getting Daredevil. I'm still getting Stillwater, So, yeah, I mean, I'm getting 3, 1 great book, and then 2 so far looks okay with Batman and Daredevil. But, yeah, excited for the future with this guy.
I'm excited to talk about Detective.
Right,
the new wave. Also, next time we get together, I'm pretty sure all 3 of us will have it read.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
See what Detective's talking about in the new era there as well.
Like, it's always the plan. I plan on taking a huge stack of books to Colorado, and I plan on coming back and reading 0. That's what just happens. Something happens on the plane where the kids they don't fall asleep. They're just kind of up, talking, playing, or whatever. So there's no books. And then, of course, you're at the place that you're visiting, busy doing things and stuff. And then, and because you've done so many things that day, you're all right, cool. Settle into bed. Kids are asleep. I'm going to lay down, sneak in a book, and then a freaking knockout. So I plan on taking a bunch of books and not reading a single one. But
do you plan on Ram V bringing back the Arkham Knight?
Dude, someday they have to. Someday. That was really cool. You can't just unleash this huge entity in a Detective Comics 1000 and then just you're gone.
Just one arc.
What the hell?
That's it.
Yeah. So okay, cool. Let's get into a bit of news. I know we were talking about a few of the things during pre-production, but to continue into our DC talk, we have some mostly bad news and then a ray of sunshine, like a small ray, of light. So Ezra Miller, as we all know, has been getting into a little bit of trouble with the law. So the former Flash movie star, he's also from the Fantastic Beasts also movies, but Ezra Miller was located and will appear in court in September on felony burglary charges. So great. He gets in fights at bars, live, freaking burglary.
Burglary now?
Yeah.
Dude, in Vermont, like trying to steal alcohol, I think from somebody's house or something. It's the stupidest thing you could think of, bro.
Just a freaking
Just
mess.
out of this world, bro.
Why is this all happening like within such a short amount of time? I feel like we never really gets to hear of this
Something wrong with the dude,
guy.
obviously.
Drugs-
There's something wrong with
Drugs
that
are bad.
guy, yeah.
Drugs are bad, dude.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Batgirl movie has now been axed,
Jesus.
and now we also hear that the Supergirl movie or TV show, whatever it was going to be, that was going to spin off of her first appearance in the Flash movie, has also now been axed. So, DC's not looking too good. You know, the Flash just announced that its final season is like 13 episodes starting next year, so the Arrowverse is finally going to come to an end. You know, I think. It's not Arrowverse, but I'm excited to see the future of Superman and Lois. That's one of my favorite shows. I mean,
That was awesome. It was the best one so
still
far.
Still dig it. So, yeah. What about those DC film fellas? Oh, but I will say the ray of sunshine is that DC Films had their big meeting, you know, in front of investors and shareholders and stuff, and they did say they had a meeting and they have a 10-year plan for their films. So, something, I think I still had the article written up. The CEO David Zaslav says, quote, their hope is to build a long-term, much stronger, sustainable growth business out of DC, and that the company is going to focus on quality over quantity. Well, it's about damn time that you start focusing on quality because you haven't in a long time. So, get your act together, please. Thanks.
And for them to just scrap $90 million Batgirl, like that's what I mentioned in pre-production. I mean, how bad could it have been to just like sit there and think like we can't even put this out, right? I mean,
if the shows are doing that bad though, that's like the only thing I can think of. Like you have all these good movies that they're looking forward to. The new Flash, you got Aquaman 2 already announced that. I mean, people are gonna watch that. Black Adam, people for damn sure are gonna watch that. The new Shazam, like. Those are going to be your hitters. If you have like an announcement, a 10-year plan, you need to kind of have your cornerstone movies. You know, Ben Affleck already announced is going to be an Aquaman 2, so they're snowballing it. They know what they're doing right now, I think. So we'll see, man.
But also coming out of that, guys, I'll add here that I see start expecting for some of these shows to be pushed back on HBO Max. I don't know if you guys heard that. Fans waiting to catch Warner Brothers movies on HBO Max may find themselves waiting. According to the Wrap, Warner Brothers Discovery has shifted the previous 45-day theatrical window put in place by former Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar. And now, new Warner Brothers films are no longer guaranteed to hit the streamer on that schedule, per the report.
That's fine.
This is from Comic Book News I'm seeing here. So the guy the CEO that you mentioned, they're like obviously trying to pivot in a way. Obviously, you know, AT&T when they owned them and whatnot, just kind of some bad decisions monetary wise there. And I think that, you know, Warner Brothers now and, you know, Discovery Media is just trying to pivot themselves into a way that they can, you know, streamline their money in a better, you know, a more, you know, profitable and, you know, promising way, if you will, positive way.
Right, yeah. Well, all we can do is hope for the best with them going forward. I mean,
and it's you guys find it not funny, but you guys find it strange that Marvel likes to announce all this at this huge Comic-Con, and then DC likes to announce it at shareholders meetings and whatnot.
Right.
You know,
I think DC didn't even have like a booth, or like I heard something like at Comic-Con, DC didn't even have like a booth. Like nothing. Like they might have had like film specific or TV show specific booths, but like DC itself didn't have. Yeah, so I'm not sure on the specifics of that of what I had heard, but yeah, kind of yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So
I am seeing some small stuff real quick too that Rosario Dawson, very, very good actress, seems reliable, says that John Bernthal will officially come back as the Punisher. She may have accidentally leaked that info, which hopefully is true, because he is definitely a badass Punisher.
Yeah, I mean, they've already released still shots of like Daredevil coming out in the She-Hulk TV show on Disney Plus.
Yeah, already officially in the She-Hulk.
With Charlie Cox, and I think that it's the yellow suit which if you guys didn't know, the first, I believe, 7 issues ever of Daredevil, he was in the yellow suit and
Yellow,
not
then
in
red,
the
right?
red. Yes. So that's going to be really, really cool. So, I mean, and the reason why I say that is because it's kind of, if Charlie Cox is going to be in it with Daredevil, come on, you got to have some Punisher in there as well.
Bro,
I mean, you don't...
100%.
Right. I mean, Daredevil might be more connected to She-Hulk than Punisher is, but Punisher and Punisher and Daredevil, they're like freaking peanut butter and jelly, man. Just like Victor Dandridge said, you got peanut butter, you got jelly, you got a sandwich. You got a sandwich.
That's it.
So, okay, moving on to another movie.
like
Huge
that.
news, I guess. If you want to
Say
call
it, Mike. Say it, Mike.
huge news, because nowadays it's like freaking 2-3 times the amount of price, the price you're going to pay in a movie theater. But Top Gun Maverick has now passed Titanic for the 7th highest grossing film of all time, which I hear it's good, right? But I also hear that the new Jurassic World movie is good. I also hear that Elvis is good. The new Minions movie was good, right? There's a lot of good summer movies. It's the first summer that we've had we've had a lot of good movies since the pandemic, right? Since 2019 probably, because we didn't get jack shit in summer of 2020. And then I can't really remember what. Do we get Spider-Man was like December, right? So it was like, it wasn't even, I can't remember what really came out. Boom, summer of 2021. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, I mean, really, to have Top Gun be up there with like Avatar and the 2 Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man, and then Titanic, bro. Titanic was like 25 years ago, I think, like in the late 90s. It's like, come on, like how many asses were in those seats for how many days, and they were probably only paying like $5, when then the cheapest ticket you're going to pay is like 10 or 12, right, at the movie theater for Top Gun Maverick, and you're going to want to see it like in some kind of IMAX, like it's freaking Top Gun. Like I've seen the first Top Gun in 3D, and that was well worth the $25 or $27 I spent. Unbelievable. So of course it's gonna grow as high, all those old dudes who were like back in like the 80s who were like, yeah, freaking Top Gun, Tom Cruise, like relive the good old days. And then you have new fans who want to see the movie as well, just a good action film. A lot of asses were in seats, but I guarantee that that it didn't have as many people go and actually see the movie as, Titanic or like the Lord of the Rings or any of the Avengers, or the Dark Knight or what have you, but just because the prices are so high. I mean, sorry to knock it, but that's the first. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm kind of cynical like that, where the first thing I think of is negativity. But that's where my head went when I first heard this news.
Yeah, because I think when they do it sometimes, like, oh, the gross was this. Oh, that's cool. But then when they start with exactly what you just said, oh, it passed this movie and this movie, I'm like, okay, now you're going down an avenue that's kind of like, if you're comparing it to like movies that are all out now, oh, it passed the Minions is this week's or this month's or this year's, okay. Once you're comparing it to movies like 25 years ago, no shit, it makes more money.
Right.
Look at the price of tickets.
It was $4 to watch a movie.
Right?
Oh, no, you had Super Saver, $2.
Hell yeah, you had like the senior discount or like freaking Sunday morning matinee. Come on now. But I mean, how many awards did Titanic win at the Academy Awards? How many awards is Top Gun Maverick going to even be nominated for? A freaking goose egg, maybe like cinematography or something, or like music, right? If it has some cool theme music. But like as far as the best actor, best supporting actor, best film, best producer, best director, I don't know if it's even going to get nominated. It's crazy.
Maybe they should stop putting so much of an emphasis on how much money they make compared to how many tickets were sold.
Asses in seats.
Okay, like how back in the 80s or 90s, whatever, great movies, right? How many tickets were sold? Because obviously we know the money's never going to be as much as it is now, right? But how many tickets were actually sold?
And then back then you had very minimal technology or other things to take your mind off of, like, oh no, I'm just going to buy it on the streaming service. That counts for the money. That doesn't count for asses in seats. Like, people were going to the movies way more often in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, like right before the tech boom and all the iPhone and all this stuff came out. Of course, we were playing video games, but I went to a lot of movies when I was in high school and just after as well, right? So, it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
But good, I mean, nonetheless, good for them, right? It's a cool story, but I just think it's kind of like blown out of proportion. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big of news.
Oh yeah.
It's like the It's like the launch angle, like all these things are, each and every year, of course, it's like the game of baseball has changed. So of course, the number of strikeouts are going to increase every single year. It's like, come on now, put a goddamn ball in play. It's just like it's kind of like that. All these passing numbers. Like really, you got like the tenth best quarterback in the league still throwing for like 4,500 yards when like no one was doing it in the 70s up until Elway and Marino came into the league. Like, come on now.
The game has changed, man. Right. That's why these numbers, it's hard to compare eras, man,
like,
with anything.
Yeah, Ken Stabler, Jim Plunkett, Joe Montana, like those guys throwing for like 3,000 yards. And that was like, oh my God, look at this unbelievable season by this MVP. It's like, dude, if you don't throw for at least 5,000 yards, you ain't winning shit in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Curry attempting more threes than whole teams combined did back in the day. So you go sport by sport, man. It's just a generation.
Right, so. And finally, we end the comic book and entertainment news with some sad news, unfortunately.
Cue up the music.
Cue it up. But we have many deaths, like they always say death comes in threes, but over the last couple weeks, of course, we had back in May, like Ray Liotta, and then, Paulie from Sopranos, unfortunately died. But man, these guys are getting whacked, right? Like James Caan, who some of you know him from the Godfather movies, Mr. Corleone, but also he's the dad from Elf. So, I mean, that's also where I know James Caan from. You had Mr. Paul Sorvino from Goodfellas, unbelievable, actor, opera singer, and I think also his daughter is an actress as well. So I just remember the scene where
Romy and Michelle,
right, exactly. So Paul Sorvino, I mean,
and Mimic, she actually won an Academy Award for Mighty Aphrodite,
right?
Which was
that's
one of
what
those.
It was. Yeah, Danielle was telling me about like, she won it for this, and I kept forgetting what it was for. So
who's that guy that actually directed that? He's that weird dude. I can't think of his name.
Wait, hold on. The guy in Hollywood who's weird? No, go figure. No way. But while Sean's looking that up, and then we have today,
directed by Woody Allen.
Oh yeah, Woody Allen. That's right. And then we have Olivia Newton-John. Dude, I mean, I had
crazy
days and days. I swear to God, I saw that movie 50 times. Grease. Loved the movie. Probably the best musical in my opinion. I haven't seen a lot of musicals, but love that movie, man.
It's a classic, dude.
Right.
I mean, you probably don't even have to watch it for it to be your favorite almost, right?
Once you hear the song, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I remember my dad had the 8-track when I was younger, dude. I used to listen to the Grease 8-track. Nice. That's how old I am.
You're the one that I want. You have Grease Lightning. You have Summer
all
Lovin'.
of them.
Oh, come on. You have classic songs. Hell yeah, dude. So I mean,
so classic.
Right. So you had unfortunately, and that comes with that generation. Like that's our parents, right? Like growing up with those people who were, and so now we're gonna have those people, right? Like unfortunately, guess what? In the next 5-10 years, we're gonna have Robert De Niro dead. Al Pacino's gonna die. Yeah. Jack Nicholson's gonna die. We're gonna have all these people.
We got Bill Russell.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I mean, that's just in sports, right? So we had just a bunch of deaths. So. I mean, rest in peace to all those people.
Jeez, you're already calling out for Pacino and De Niro's dead.
Let's get the Deadpool going. We're gonna have the comic bookies Deadpool. So,
jeez, have you actually seen? I saw some pictures of Pacino lately, dude. The dude is
and Robert De Niro. They ain't looking too good, man.
Pacino, yeah, he looks
that extra makeup,
right?
Pacino got like a young girl, I guess, but they caught like paparazzi.
Oh, no. Boy,
ain't no Dane Cook though.
Paparazzi got.
Ain't no Dane Cook though.
Dane Cook, what a freaking
50 years old with a 23-year-old dirty dog.
All right, cool. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break to go stretch our legs and go to the bathroom. But this is the Comic Bookies Podcast, episode 156. We'll come back at you live or wherever you get your podcast right now. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and supporting of the podcast. Sports is next. Stay tuned. I just gave it.
That was a very nice like radio outro. Sports is next. Stay tuned.
Right. So I was just doing that just so we can, if you wanted to stretch your legs or go to the bathroom, but if you want to keep going, I'm good to do it now.
Yeah. I don't got to pee. I thought I had to pee, but no, I'm good right now.
Because you said you had to be off around 11, so we'll start sports.
Yeah, about 11-ish. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Going back live in 3, 2, and 1. Man, that felt good to talk that long about comic books and entertainment and stuff. It has felt like a long time since we actually got that amount of time to do that. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Comic Bookies podcast, episode 156. Just to remind you guys, we are on all social media platforms except for TikTok. Unfortunately, sorry, I tried to talk Mark into making one, but he just gave me the face over the the SMH whatever emoji. But we are at the Comic Bookies. You can email us thecomicbookies@gmail.com. And also subscribe for all of the latest live streams on our YouTube channel. Just search the Comic Bookies. And you can listen to your podcast when this comes out, wherever you get your podcasts. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, radio.com, anywhere. Just search the Comic Bookies on Google and it'll direct you somewhere. But here, let's go get into sports, fellas. So, yeah, Mark, we did Major League Baseball a few weeks ago. We don't need to really touch on that. I mean, it's the dog days of summer. The Red Sox, I remember I actually went back and listened. I was like, whoa, the Red Sox are like, they're playing all right. And then like last week they were in freaking last place. They were below the Orioles. So I was like, oh man, besides that, like nothing truly new. I think
it's not worth talking about if it's
right.
Bad.
I think the Dodgers overtook the Yankees for the best record in the league. Couple of those trades, of course, the A's are one of the blockbuster ones, sending Freddie Montas. Like, to me, I'm going to steal this from Bill Burr, one of his rants from one of his most recent podcasts. But how do Yankee fans or Dodgers, like, how do they, like, you feel good? Do you feel good about yourself? Like spending like $250, $300 million on like everybody, and then when you win championships, like, yeah, what do you think was going to happen, dipshit? Like, what do you think was going to happen? That they were going to lose? No, they have the best talent in the freaking game. Of course they're going to. And what's going to happen in 2 years? I was listening to the radio today. Shohei Ohtani, if he doesn't go to the Giants, which I think is a possibility, if he stays on the West Coast,
Yankees or
Dodgers. Like, come on.
Yeah, me and Alex were just talking about this. Like,
why are they linking him to the Giants, by the way?
Just because we have a hell of money.
Right.
And we're still due to get one of our big splashes.
If he wants to stay on the West Coast, he's still going to be in California. So it's a possibility, right? It's a good market. They only have one team because I think the A's have all but announced that they're not going to be staying here. I think it's going to come in the next 365 days that the A's are out. So start getting your season tickets ready for Vegas, baby. Start trying to book that trip where we're going to go to an A's playoff game, a Raider home game, and then the Sharks are visiting the Knights in one weekend. Try to get it all done in one weekend. I don't know.
It is crazy, bro. I say that because it's like.
So I guess we're talking baseball. We're talking baseball. So let's go.
Well, you know what? I won't say baseball, but just the theme of people, spending so much money. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm watching the Captain, the Derek Jeter special, which I'm like up to date. Like, I'm loving it. I really am. Other than hearing about all the freaking Yankees bull crap. And it goes back to those were the years when I was a little bit younger. Like, these, mother effers are buying teams. But, you do get older and smarter, and you just have that, like, I would do the same damn thing if I can.
Well, the Marlins did it twice.
I would too, because you know what, man? At the end of the day, you still got to win a championship, and it goes into literally this past weekend going to get my books from Alex, and it's just like, he even has that, like, they're double parked at every position. I mean, you look at the A's, even what the Giants are putting on the field now. I mean, we're like handicap parked on some positions. I mean,
bro, it's unreal. Handicap. We're handicapped without the wheelchair. Like,
it's that bad. But the thing is, it's just like, it's so hard for me to ever be like, I wouldn't do it though. At the end of the day, you put the best product in the field, and if your team wants to invest money, I mean, who the hell might have been? I hate that they're winning, but them doing it. Shoot, dude, they're doing what we wish we could do, basically.
What my team wish they could do? Yeah, I know, right? Because we're like owners. Yeah, I don't want to get into it with the Fisher Group.
It's a joke, man.
Go play around in traffic, homie.
I'd say Mike Trout was probably, I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but I'd say Mike Trout is probably the most humblest guy in sports. I mean, you would have to say that Angels organization has got to be like one of the biggest flops in more modern, sports teams, dude. You got Ohtani, I mean, you've made acquisitions within these last couple years.
But they've gotten rid of all the players they've had. They were just talking about them on the radio, like I think yesterday. Every half decent pitcher they've traded, and that's been the biggest problem.
They
with
don't
them.
market.
They give Rendon $300 million. This damn fool's played 2 months of baseball in 3 years.
Like,
how can that team just not get it together?
Right.
I don't understand it.
Like they don't market him worth a shit too. Like if you heard his voice, some people in the city of Anaheim might not even know his face if he was in just regular clothes, right? They don't market him worth a crap. Like when you hear on the radio or on TV, close your eyes, you know what Big Papi sounds like, right? You know what Shaquille O'Neal sounds like. You know what Charles Barkley sounds like. You know what.
You might not know what Mike Trout sound like.
You would not. Nope. If you said one of these 3-5 guys, one of these 3-5 white guys sounds like Mike Trout, I myself probably couldn't pick him out of a lineup like listening to his voice, because I don't think I've heard him talk as much as I should have. Right.
But wasn't he like one of the first players? Well, not the first, but he was like one of the first guys to get these ridiculous like 10-year contracts, right? Isn't he like on a 9 or some 10-year?
He came out with what's his name, Bryce Harper, around the same time as like just one of these phenoms, right? Like in high school, you had Sports Illustrated magazines of like Bryce Harper coming out of Las Vegas, like he's like the next freaking Willie Mays, right? Trout was the silent, like, you know, Bryce Harper gets marketed as this phenom, but Trout is the guy. He went how many years, Sean? Even though he wouldn't make the or even though he wouldn't win the MVP, he would always get like votes, like
top 3, top 5. It was like 8 straight years. It was like it was a shoo-in, because the thing is what he does everywhere on the field. He hits actually a good average. He's a 5-tool player. Keep it that way. 5-tool player.
I wonder if it's more, if it's kind of his doing, or maybe like kind of up to him, the reason why he doesn't get marketed as much. Maybe he's more of a shy type of guy. I mean, you'd have to imagine he's probably leaving a lot of like endorsement dollars on the table.
That boy leaving a lot of money on the table.
You know, out of the shadows like that.
I mean, he probably has a good deal, like with Nike or wherever he has his, you know, cleats deal or, you know, his gear. But yeah, man, he's not the face of anything right now. He's the face of retirement soon if he doesn't get his injury in line. So he'll be the voice of the new AARP card, you know. So who knows, man? But anyways,
that's enough baseball,
right? But anyways, I think right before when we start getting into the playoffs, right into late August, September, when we're getting more and more, when we're getting week to week with NFL, we'll get, you know, more into baseball. So don't worry, folks. But
speaking though, real quick, Mike, you want to talk about all this money that these baseball teams have played, but then again, the sport that we loved so much. I don't know if you were going to get into it. We could later, but a sport that we love a lot too on the other side of the pond, they tend to do the same thing. So we can't really
right. Well, that's what I was going to get into. The EPL Week 1 was here. Manchester United, just a fabulous start again.
Blistering.
I was telling you and my brother Mark, that team single-handedly has decreased my love of the game since I've been loving it so much, right? And they didn't even win the EPL or Champions League when I first started really getting, like when Rashford first was there, right? Like in 2016, 17, right? But NASCAR has overtaken that so much. Has nothing to do with Larson winning the championship last year, maybe a little bit, but I get entertained so much, and like the team who I glommed onto and chose to follow. Jesus Christ, you want to talk about spending more money than the Yankees and the Dodgers and all that stuff, maybe even combined, right? With all these transfer fees, and then they play all these stars. They can't play a lick of defense. They can't.
They're dodo heads,
bro,
man.
What are they doing? Just an unbelievable start to this new. I don't even know what the guy's name is. He's got like 3 names. I don't know.
Hentex.
Von Tech, yeah.
First time ever
Rob Van Dam. I don't know. But Rob Van Dam might as well be the freaking manager.
First time ever win, Sean?
First time ever that Brighton ever wins at Old Trafford.
Oh, Brighton Hove and Albion.
Ever.
The Seagulls.
Like ever. It's freaking the Seagulls, bro, came loose, and then, you know, going to Mark's Liverpool, Darwin's goal. Ooh. I mean, it's
the Seagulls were picking up the trash on the field.
Right, yeah, freaking R.I.P. Tony Saragusa. He freaking came in there and laid the smackdown on the Red Devils.
And their team isn't. I mean, man,
it's a good roster. It's a sexy roster, but you know what? It's not a good team. It's not a good team.
Yeah.
It's a sexy roster.
They always put out a top 10 in the world roster as far as clubs. I'd say top 10 to 12 in the world.
You need a team, bro. You need a
I don't
team, though,
know.
bro.
But Liverpool ties, right? I think Tottenham wins.
Yes, they
Tottenham
do.
wins like 4-1. Chelsea won, I think, 1-0. So,
Chelsea won. I do gotta say, I still love my Wolves,
oh yeah,
but
how they do?
I do have my
Uh-oh.
new bandwagon team
Who that is
that they just got
Portuguese,
promoted.
right?
Hold on, let me guess.
No, they just got promoted last season, and the biggest reason why is because they have an American coach, and they
Okay.
have a lot of Americans that are really pushing to be like a main.
Nottingham.
Nope. Oh, I do
No.
have Nottingham too. I
Nottingham
do actually really
Forest?
like them. Leeds.
Oh,
One of
Leeds.
the older English teams that was one of they used to be great back in the day, and they just slowly started creeping to get some players, a lot of American players, and dude, Leeds is dope. Leeds is
Who's
dope.
their coach?
Oh my god, I can't even think what his name is, but he is an American coach for sure. He's a former player on the national team.
Nice.
Let's see, Leeds.
But no,
Leeds,
they
and they won, didn't they? Yeah, they won.
They beat Wolves
They
actually.
beat
Jesse
Wolves.
Mark.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they're a cool little team. I've always liked them. And it's funny you bring up Nottingham Forest because they're actually another team I've always, in the old FIFA games way back in the day, I've always kind of liked them in the second division and try to promote the first. They always get some good Portuguese players in their teams too. But other than that, Arsenal, they actually looked really good, got their little victory. Was it 2-0 or
Yeah,
something?
they
like
won
that,
by 2. So you got the winners so far in the first week: AFC Bournemouth with a 2-goal win, Manchester City with a 2-goal win, Newcastle they won by 2, Brighton Hove and Albion of course, and then your aforementioned Leeds United.
Leeds.
Yeah, and so Brentford, Fulham, Leicester City, Liverpool, they all tie, and then of course you all know the losers, so they're not worth mentioning. So
I think some of the other leagues are starting this week, if I'm not mistaken. I think the Spanish league, and obviously these leagues are all starting earlier this year because of the Spanish.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to win Spanish. This is one of 3 teams, right? And then French is one team, Germany's one team, Italy's one team. Go, international soccer.
Dude, that's hella boring in some of those leagues, though. Like France, PSG didn't win 2 years ago. That was when I forget Renato Sanchez. I forgot what the team name was. I don't know if it was Lily or what it was, but it's for the most part, it's gonna probably be PSG. But do you think the worst league is freaking Germany? Bayern's won like the past 9 years.
Italy too, right?
No, I think that was Italy. That was when Juve won like 8 or 9 years, right?
Oh no, Bayern, bro. They're pushing over 5 easy. Let me see. Bayern, bro.
But I mean, that was a good. I will give so Manchester United is not doing well, but I will give the league as a total. Right, you have at least when you go into the season, you have a good 5 teams. Maybe the top 6 have at least somewhat of a chance to make some noise and possibly battle for, at least you have 2, at least you have more than 1 in England. You probably honestly maybe just 3. I'd say maybe Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea are probably the 3 teams that are serious contenders for the EPL Championship. But you never know.
I wasn't wrong. 10 titles in a row for German Bayern.
How many?
10. Jesus.
10? Dude, I thought Dortmund had one thrown in there or something.
They did.
Leipzig?
It was
it was 1976.
Jesus.
God.
Bro.
Damn.
And they just got Mane.
Yeah, that's all.
From Liverpool,
Oh,
so we
God.
still have to see. We still have to see how Liverpool is going to fare this year. Yeah, we got Darwin, and he looked great, and I think it's good for Jota to probably get more time, but I'm happy about Liverpool. I just don't know how their season's going to go. I think everyone's season's going to be a little bit different this year with the World Cup being in the in the winter here. Another league that doesn't really get much talk. I know we're getting a little deep in the rabbit hole with these soccer leagues, but dude, Liga MX, the Mexican league, you know how those fans are just diehards there, right? I'd have to say that the product isn't I'd have to say that the product isn't always the best to watch, but I will have to say that at least their league seems to be a little bit more competitive than those European leagues, if you will, right? For the most part, you got the teams that are higher up there usually, but there's a little bit more competition in that league,
Right.
and I'll turn it on sometimes if some.
It was
game's on.
it was like America for a long time, but you've had the Chivas run and
Pumas,
Pumas.
Cruz Azul.
No, Cruz Azul.
Cruz
I don't know.
Azul,
Jalisco.
Necaxa.
That's right.
I mean,
Leon.
the Mexican league, Leon, the
He said
Mexican,
Leon.
El Tigres, Mexican league's not bad, guys.
That's cool.
It's not so fun, but it's not horrible. So
It's
if you
not
guys are
MLS.
fans of La Liga MX, let us know.
Hey, you better tune in Wednesday to that All-Star game, baby. Liga MX versus MLS, loco.
It's an all-star game, like it's a all-star game, but we're not in the middle of the season in those leagues, are we? It's at the beginning of the season.
Bro, I don't even know when
Yeah.
MLS is off the charts with when their freaking schedule is out. But I know they do like a skills competition, which I actually watched it last year. It was somewhat entertaining, but they actually do go pretty hard in the All-Star games. And them boys, you always have that like I think Liga MX always feels like MLS cannot be better than us.
Right.
They can't be better than
I mean,
us.
yeah, like
Come
people
on, they
show.
got Christian Bale. I mean, not Christian Bale, Gary Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Yeah, I play soccer.
Pass me the fucking ball.
Don't you worry, we're gonna be seeing Ronaldo here in the States here pretty soon. A couple more
Right,
years.
his
Later, the way it's
freaking
looking,
retirement
dude.
tour, right? So, all right, so let's go to NASCAR before we get into the NFL. So NASCAR, finally, we get a win. We can actually say over the past 2 years, we can finally say that Kevin Harvick wins a race with that beautiful paint scheme, I will add. I hate that we don't live in the Midwest sometimes because I've always wanted to try Busch Light. It's they tell me it's up there with like Coors Light and Miller Light and stuff.
Bush
Yeah.
Light? They have Bush Light.
I've never found
here.
it. Do you know where they sell it? And
I've never.
and then I
seen
want
either.
to try the apple. Yeah,
Really?
I've never seen it at a store. Never.
I got it in Carson City. That's where I had it one time. But I
I've
will.
never seen it in Cali before.
I'd
Carson
say
City?
that. I'd say that. Well, you've seen regular Bush,
Oh, I've seen Bush.
just not Bush
yeah,
Light,
just not Bush Light.
Hey, what?
not Kyle Bush. We haven't seen
Mike
his
talking about
brother
different
either.
kind of
His bro-
Bush.
I think I just found the title of our
brother's
episode. So, anyways,
I'd say I'd probably go with Coors Light or a Bud Light before a Bush Light. That's
Okay.
me. A Bush Light felt really, really light to me, like a little too overbearingly light for my likes. But yeah, I didn't even realize that they didn't have it. I never really looked for it. I just saw it. It was like on sale out there in Reno. It's like $10 for a 12-pack. I'm like, let's do it. Let's try it.
I'll look for it in Colorado. That's more Midwest. Hopefully, they have it over there. Oh, you know what? I don't know. Never mind. It's Colorado. They might sell nothing but Coors. You get nothing but Coors.
Right.
Yeah, Blue Mountains,
Right.
baby.
So, but yeah, so good race. I mean, I was kind of in and out of the race. I saw that Logano got a top 5. Larson finished 7. I think Chase had a rough day. But
I'm surprised. I'm glad they got it in.
Right.
It wasn't looking too promising with the
Right.
rain, but they actually got the whole thing
'cause that's
in.
I hate that I don't look at the weather before because I woke up early because it's like Sunday's usually an early day for me anyways. But I woke up on time a little bit earlier than usual from work to get up and watch the race. And sure as hell enough, I turn on the TV and it's under a weather delay. I'm like, why don't I check the weather reports first? So I can get another hour or 2 of sleep. Like, what the hell is this? So yeah, that was pretty sad. But yeah.
Now we got 15 winners. Here we
I
go.
know.
It's coming down
I know.
to it.
No,
Who's
and
gonna
guess
get
what?
it?
And guess
It's
what?
gonna-
You have
it's Blaney.
You have Blaney, Truex.
and Truex right
and,
now.
And Truex races very well where they're going this weekend. He's actually in the
Yeah, he
past 6
does.
races, he's got the best average finish. Obviously, these stats are kind of skewed because we have the new next gen cars and stuff. But anyways, you can't really argue with over the last 6 races he has 3 wins with an average finish of 2.3, right? Like just over second place. So you got Hamlin up there who's got a win. Keselowski actually has a win, and then of course Bowman rounds out the last 6 races. But
Keselowski has a win.
Keselowski has a win
No, he does.
at Richmond.
Oh, I thought you meant this season.
No.
I was
Rich
like,
what?
Just at Richmond. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, you have this could be a JGR massacre. Kyle Busch has 6 wins. Denny Hamlin with 4. Harvick actually has 3. Logano with 2. Larson actually has 1 win. Truex has got the 3 total. And then if Kurt Busch decides he wants to race, dude, something's going on there. Do you really think he has a concussion, or is this that whole thing with his freaking ex-wife where they say it's like
Draining that
right,
wallet.
and it was what did she claim? Like physical and mental torture or something in an article when they first got divorced. I don't know about this. It's like it may be a cover up, like when they do you remember in the Bulls a documentary when they say there were rumors that was the reason why Michael Jordan left basketball to go to baseball for 2 years, because he was in gambling debt. He was in huge gambling trouble. So I wonder if Kurt's
know.
like dealing with some shit like with his ex-wife, and they're like, hey, yeah, you got a concussion, bro. Yeah, you got a concussion. Oh, I do? Yeah, yes, you have a concussion. Hey, Ty, get in there for a few races. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, that kid's good though.
He got 10th place, I think. I think he got a top 10.
Dude, he was running like in the top 5 at one point also.
Man, of course, he's got his freaking grandpa's car.
Bubba got the pole there.
Right, and finished second.
Seen that
Had a boy.
yesterday.
And you talk about, it could be like a Toyota Fest here coming up at Richmond, but, it looked like it was going to be a Toyota Fest last week, and it wasn't.
Fords came out.
8 straight wins at Michigan. So, know how much the manufacturers like to win up there in the Motor City. So that was big for them. I'd say, I don't know, man. I love that track because it reminds me of California. It's almost the same thing. I think, California's a little bit better because it's worn out, but, it's getting down to it, man. I think there's only 3 regular season races left in the season, in the regular season, then it's the playoffs.
Right, and I know that Daytona would be the last one. Right. So
it's Richmond, Watkins Glen, and Daytona. So we got a short track, a road course, and a super speedway to finish off the last.
So these next 2 races are really key for Truex, because Truex is a good road course racer, and obviously he has the 3 wins there recently at Richmond. So
He'll have his chance.
Don't know if he has a chance there at Daytona. Just because I think historically he's not a super speedway restrictor plate racer. But I will say I have the stats for you with the last winners here at Michigan, Mark. I thought you actually were going to be right, because I remember for years they had 2 races there at Michigan. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, Larson did win there 3 times in a row, but they, you have 4 years after that, they could have had 2 races where Ford won. So Ford has won the last 5 races there. You had Kevin Harvick has won the last 2, and then Joey Logano won the first race in 2019. And then 2018 was Harvick again, and Clint Boyer actually won in 2018. And then the second race of 2016 and both races in 2017 were both Kyle Larson racing with Chevy. So the last 5 races.
And speaking of the playoffs coming up here soon, let's get into some odds real quick if you want to, guys, for the season. Sean's driver is actually overtaken everybody here, man.
Boy.
He's been hot, man. He got that.
We mentioned it like the episode before, Victor Dandridge. Like he feels like even if he's not winning, he's up there. So yeah, he's feeling like he's coming into form when the right time.
He even wins when he doesn't lead laps.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Say it again.
Kyle Larson falls to 8-1 here with a Ross Chastain. Who would have thought? Sometimes I even forget that this Trackhouse team was a 1-car operation with the 99 and Suarez last year.
Suarez was running 1 too. Like Suarez and Chastain were up there with Bell, and when they were fighting for it.
Yeah.
They're doing.
Sometimes I think I'm like, how is this Trackhouse team so good? Like their first year, like I forget sometimes that they actually were somewhat of a team last year. Although they didn't have Chip Ganassi's organization bought out last year, but they were still the team. But we'll see how his feud and Danny Hamlin's feud continues to go. But he's 7-1. Chase Elliott is like about 4-1. Denny Hamlin here 9-1. Still looking for that elusive championship that's been running away from him his whole career. Kyle Busch looking for his 3rd at 9-1. Still dealing with issues on being signed through Joe Gibbs. Logano 12-1, not too bad. Although I'd like to see a little bit more from him. Blaney, I thought he would have had a win. He's 12-1. A kid I really like, Tyler Reddick, he's 12-1. A lot of 12-1s. William Byron 12-1. Harvick 16-1. Truex not even in the playoffs yet, 16-1, or he is, I guess,
right?
Unless there's another winner. But another kid that has been doing really good. He's been doing really good, and you talk about the Toyota onslaught, but Christopher Bell's been doing pretty damn good these last couple races. I've been impressed by that kid.
He has a win.
He knows he has a win. Yeah, his first win came last year, but he's been competitive, man. Suarez 25-1 for the championship. Bowman's kind of fallen off a bit. Briscoe has fallen off a bit at 40-1 here. He was real hot in the beginning of the year, but yeah, man, just pretty crazy odds. Man, if Ross Chastain wins this thing, that'll be huge. But we'll see. He's a good racer, dude.
Yeah, and Suarez is in the playoffs too. That'll be fun to watch him
dude,
too.
that's so dope.
That'd be fun to watch him too.
And I don't think they're just gonna be in the playoffs. I think these guys got a good chance of getting past that first and second round, man.
I would say Chastain more
really
than
do.
Suarez has a chance to get to that final 8 for sure. With those last 4 races, Texas, Martinsville. What is it always? Texas, Martinsville, and something before you go to. Is it
Phoenix?
Before you go to Phoenix, is it Miami? Is
Texas.
Miami one of the last?
I don't think so.
Might be Kansas.
Was it Kansas or something? Yeah, something like.
Boom. Okay, cool. So besides that, one little thing. Did you guys see Kyle Busch and his family were at the Mall of America during the shooting?
Nuts, bro.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
scary stuff.
Jesus
It seemed
freaking
the
Christ!
images after he was just
That shit's scary. So I mean,
That's scary for anyone involved.
hell
man.
yeah.
Thank
Anybody.
God. No one got shot though, thank God.
Right.
No injuries, no nothing. So that was good.
Right. So pretty scary. But everyone enjoyed the race at Richmond this weekend. Yeah. So let's go on to just a real quick mention. We're not going to dive too far into it, but it was the Hall of Fame induction ceremony and the Hall of Fame game. I really only wanted to mention it because we have. A former Raider, Richard Seymour. I'm kidding. But no, the Raiders played the Jacksonville Jaguars. And even though the Stars didn't play, I will say, what I watched, I was at work for most of it, so I was, on my phone for a little bit. But I did see that, play calling looked a little smoother. It looked just more like smart play calling, So I will say, if it's that type of play calling and that type of rhythm, on offense, for the Raiders, I will say that we'll be, we can score some points, but at the end of the day, offensive line needs to play good, and then of course defense just, don't give up 35 a game, please.
Can we sign Rolando McClain back?
Bring in Mr. McClain.
No, he's in jail.
That was so funny earlier today.
Yeah, Sean, me, Mark, and my brother were railing off all of the former first-round picks of the Raiders over the last 15 years.
Oh, damn. Philip Buchanan. Punch
Shit,
it
I didn't
in.
even mention Philip Buchanan. Holy shit. We had
Oh,
Darius
God.
Hayward Bay, Fabian
Punch it
Washington,
in.
Stanford Route, Robert Gallery.
Robert Gallery.
Right above Larry Fitzgerald. Thank you. Or no, Calvin Johnson.
That's all.
Calvin Johnson. Your brother was like, Rolando McClain's the worst. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I wonder what a guy like that's been up to lately.
Hey, that was our Reuben Foster. That's our Reuben Foster.
Can't
right
forget
there.
Jaminkus, Jaminkus the stink.
Oh,
the stinkus.
Jaminkus is.
Dude, Sean, tell me why I literally go and Google Rolando McClain. This fool got arrested 6 days ago.
That's why I said he was in jail, Sean, because he actually got
I'm telling
arrested.
you what, bro, you can't fix stupid, bro. You can't fix stupid. All these people with all the talent in the world, it's just decision making. I mean, we want to keep it mature on the podcast. Yeah. It's just decision making, man.
We got Salmon this year, so hopefully, stupid shit. Okay, but yeah, I mean, as the weeks progress, we have Deebo Samuel finally signed the contract. I think he was finally was he in practice participating this week yet?
He's been at practice every day doing individual drills and doing conditioning on the field. I was at training camp the 4th day, I think, of camp it was. And he's been there literally since day one reported. Okay. And then, of course, started the team drills. I actually think you're not allowed to do team drills. So him, DK Metcalf, and Deontay Johnson, literally those 3 receivers in a 4-day span, did the same damn thing. All individual drills. I'll show up, cooperating. I want to sign the freaking contract. And they're where they need to be. Now they got their freaking contract signed. Get your money. Let's go to work now. But real quick to what the Raiders brought, I'm telling you, coming out of my mouth, diehard Niner fan, bro, I'm serious, man. The Raiders, I really, really think they're gonna make some moves this year. I really think, in a weird way, they might be the team to watch out for in the AFC West. I really think that.
It's got a tough schedule.
Why?
It's got a tough schedule, I think.
It's a tough schedule, but the thing is, though, a tough schedule to me is one of the things where it's just when the Niners had those runs to the Super Bowl, obviously we didn't win one, but we actually had tough schedules too. And you just see what the Raiders have. At the end of the day, you look at statistics, Derek Carr has numbers that no other quarterback has. When you talk about yards, percentage, deep ball percentage, has Devontae now. Hunter Renfrow showed the boy could play. Waller's good. The Raiders got like a 3-headed monster in the backfield. You guys got a rookie. I can't think what the hell the rookie you guys got. And they said he actually might be one of the best running backs on the freaking team. And defensively, you guys did get better. Obviously, it's true. What Mike said, you got to show it. You got to do it on the football field. Right now, it's kind of like the eye test of what you're seeing. But it's like watching the preseason game. Yeah, it's preseason, so you can kind of take more risk. But it's true. You see it just with smooth play calling. Like right off the freaking bat, first play of the game, let's just freaking a little shotgun, just throw a deep ball. Then a couple of little dink and dunks, get the ball in Josh Jacobs' hands. Like, okay, like, they're, it feels smoother, and they got a really nice roster to go with it. So, hey, man, just don't be surprised.
Right. You talking about Zamir White out of Georgia?
There it is. That's
I mean,
the kid, bro. They
technically
on
our
this kid might
technically on our depth chart, he's listed as 2, above Kenyon Drake, above Amir Abdullah. So
that's why they're saying Josh Jacobs. Oh, well, yeah, we're not trading Josh Jacobs, but we're going to have you play in the freaking week 1 preseason game. I'm telling you, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised, bro.
I mean, we've shown over the last couple of years that Josh Jacobs, even on top of even without his injuries, if he's going to be there,
he's going to get cut or traded.
Sure.
They announced it
with
pretty much.
They saying that the Giants maybe, or so
Giants or Browns or
so something's going to happen. But stay tuned. We have a couple weeks, 2 weeks in between our next episode, but there will be a couple weeks of preseason, and I think that is when we'll probably have our season preview. Right, we'll probably go over the next couple weeks. Going through like if we're talking sports, we're only talking NFL. As far as the season preview, breaking down all the teams, all the new transactions, maybe even a little fantasy numbers since this is my last year in fantasy football. Right.
Why?
I'm done, dude. It's been over 20 years, man. I'm just done. I'm done rooting.
Can't give it up.
He wants to enjoy his Sundays a little bit more.
Right. So I'm done rooting for Chiefs players. I'm done rooting for Broncos. Let's ride. I'm done rooting for cornball ass Russell Wilson on my fantasy football team now because he's going to be on the Broncos. So, no, but we have the plaque, right, of like the championship and then the toilet bowl, and we're finally on our last year of that plaque, and I'm like I don't want to have to get a new plaque and then dedicate 12 more years to this shit. So I'm done. So I'm going to hand the league over to Sean or my brother, and so they can continue it, but I'm done. I want the I want the Raiders losing to be the only reason why I ruin my Sundays, not because like that was the worst. Sean, you know it. That's the worst. Like when
Monday night game-winning Pettigrew misses the catch, and you just lose.
I will say that one Monday Night Football game where you had the tight end for the Lions, and you were down by
Pettigrew.
So Marquis was down by 0.7. And he got like the final play of the game was
the ball and take one step forward.
One catch for 1 yard. So that's 0.6. So I won by 0.1.
I remember exactly where I was at when that happened. I was at Alex's house, and Alex was like, dude, I think Sean just lost like everything by half a yard or something. I'm like, no way.
Right. So, I mean,
these dumbasses can't catch and run.
But then on the other hand, you had guys like, let's just say you have the Chiefs, right? Or I mean, like you have Tyreek Hill. And you're a Raiders fan. So you have the Raiders versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs absolutely spank the Raiders, so your team loses, and Tyreek actually gets held to like 2 catches for 15 yards and nothing else. So I was like, oh, cool. I just freaking lost fantasy, and my team just got routed and just got freaking penetrated like so hard. So it's one less thing to worry about, man. It's one less thing to worry about.
Before we wrap it up, I don't want to get too deep into it, but something catches my eyes. I just want you guys just opinion on it real quick. I see some of these odds here early in the season, pre-flop before the season starts, and Tampa Bay is up there at 7.5, 8-1, next to Green Bay, Buffalo Bills. They deserve to be there, but I mean Tampa Bay.
Tommy, touchdown Tommy's are there.
Just because of Tommy, huh? I'm sorry, but
7 Super Bowls. Yeah.
I just don't see their odds. I think they should be closer to like a 10, 11-1, 7-1. That just I don't see
Julio
value
Jones,
there,
bro.
Julio Glasshouse Jones.
Tennessee Titans have fallen off a cliff, 40-1. I mean, they were doing so good. Now they're 40-1.
No AJ Brown, they should be.
Sean just mentioned how he likes the Raiders kind of this season. Why are the Indianapolis Colts with with the statue of, Matt Ryan sitting there at 22-1, just, I don't know. These odds kind of, Dallas Cowboys, we know they're not going to do nothing, but they're 18-1, right?
They almost have to by default, which, they're going to choke, but.
Yeah, it's just these odds are looking kind of, there might be a little bit of value up in these odds that I'm looking at right now. So, yeah, we'll keep you posted better on our preview, on our football preview.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay is just, I don't know, man. And then didn't they draft somebody like in the draft? Like, didn't they draft like a stud receiver or running back also in the draft?
Another running back,
like,
I think,
like in the first or second, round.
They're just making it easy for Tom. Basically, offensive line's going to be loaded and just freaking get the ball in the skill possessions hands.
Yeah, but one of their players, I think, is out. One of their
Jensen,
yeah,
the starting center.
The starting center. That's not good, right? So
yeah, I mean.
Center's
we'll see at 40. Hopefully, when Tom turns 45, which he already is, the downfall really starts.
Twammy.
Freaking touchdown, Twammy.
Touchdown, Twammy. No, but dude, let's see. Miami got a lot of hope coming in, 35-1. We'll see, dude. Just
yeah, there's
crazy.
Plenty more to come. I think we only have 1 or 2 episodes where we have the in between week of not being here, but you will see us now. You'll see us every single week from now until the second week of February, right? When we get into the Super Bowl, and then of course Daytona 500 the week after. So episode 156 is now over. We have collided the worlds of sports and comics, and we are done, fellas. Take it away and send us home.
We have no Monday Night Football, but we do got Monday Night Podcasts. So I'm very happy that the Comic Bookies podcast were able to satisfy your guys' little Monday night, colliding the world of sports and comics that Mike just mentioned. Make sure you guys just keep supporting us. That's what Mike said. Football season is upon us. It is arguably the most popular, likable sport for most people, and you guys will be getting us weekly. So between fantasy and just your favorite sports team, hopefully everyone has a good preseason with no injuries, because I know how excited every team, even the Browns, are for the upcoming football season. And yeah, again, just keep supporting us. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. And again, for all you parents, for your kids' first days of school, like for example Maddie, their first day, I send my prayers and applaud you guys. I know how much of an achievement that is and how happy you guys are. So yeah, for all those kids that are starting school this week and next week, good luck. Have a good first day of school.
Your whole future's ahead of you, kids. So yeah. We love you. We love the kids. So you guys stay smart. You guys are our future. You guys are going to put into our retirement. So Sean said it best. So thank you, everybody, for listening to us tonight on 156, the Comic Bookies podcast. As always, you can catch us, like Mike said earlier, on all social media platforms besides TikTok, but at the Comic Bookies on Instagram and Twitter. You can email us if you guys want to interview, if you guys know somebody that's writing, somebody that's drawing, someone wants to get their word out there on one of their projects. You guys can always email us, thecomicbookies@gmail.com. And it's always fun, guys. And these are the dog days of summer here. But don't forget, football is starting. Labor Day's around the corner. And from now until February, there will be the #1 sport in America every single weekend. So let's ride.
Let's ride. And then just to end the podcast right now, currently right now being downloaded in countries across the world. India, Egypt is downloading, Ethiopia, Austria, and of course our 1 or 2 fans in Belgium that continuously downloads us. Thank you so much. Canada showing some love. But just to end the podcast, the top 5 areas in the United States that have been downloading us over the past 10 episodes. Even though our Golden State Warriors beat the Boston Celtics, Boston, Massachusetts, touchdown Tuomi. They're at #1. The San Francisco Bay Area, #2. Great Falls, Montana, up there at #3. New York, #4. And Wheeling, West Virginia, sits at the top 5. So there you have it, folks. We are worldwide. We are nationwide. But this has been episode 56 of the Comic Bookies podcast. Thank you so much for watching, listening, supporting. Share us, dude. Like, subscribe, share. Sometimes we don't like to beg for likes or thumbs up or whatever, but please, this is like the shameless plug. Just, share it and, don't be afraid. But for Mark and Sean, this is Mike, episode 156. We are out of here. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. Peace out. We'll see you all in a couple weeks.
Peace.
Peace. And always enjoy each other. And don't forget, fans, comic bookie fans, we're hopelessly devoted to you. So rest in peace, ONJ, and everybody else that has lost their lives recently. Rest in peace. We love you guys. Peace out.